So were you born and raised in Vegas, or you moved later in life?
No, I was born in Florida, in Miami, Florida,
Oh,
in
okay.
my house. So, and I think it was like a 40-minute delivery. I was in and out. I don't know where I had to be, but
You were
I just
ready.
had places to be. I was ready to go. So,
Yeah.
um,
Now, so let me ask you, before we go any further, I know you had told me that you identify as male, and
yes.
when outside of drag, you're he, him, and then in drag, you refer to as she, her. You don't mind. You're more, you know, flexible
Yeah,
with
no,
that.
I like to consider myself a transformer. I'm interchangeable.
I like that. A transformer. All right. Now, would you mind? I don't know if you want to share. Do you want to share your actual name, or no? Do you want to keep it
Oh,
as
well, if you look on Instagram or anything, you're gonna find me anyways. It's Marcos Matos.
Marcos? Okay,
Yeah.
Marcos. So yes, that's and I want because the reason why I was asking is because I want to know more about Marcos. I want to know more about little Marcos. In Miami. Born and raised. Like, were you born into a single parent home, two parent, siblings, cousins? Just what? Give me some of that.
I am one of six kids. I
Mm,
have five boys, one girl. Um, I did grow up with a mother and a father figure, um, in a very low income home. There was very that had its troubles, uh, and then eventually my mom, she was a single mom of six. So
wow, and that could be a lot. And where do you fall in within the six?
I'm number three.
You're the middle child.
Yeah, the middle child, the responsible one. My family likes to call me the glue because I'm the one that like tries to keep everyone together. I have everyone's birthdays logged in my phone. I give them the phone calls. I was the one who was the big helper in everybody from my older
Wow.
sister to my youngest brother. Like I was the one, even in the grocery store, going all hands on the
Really?
cart. Don't embarrass me. So,
So, I mean, where did that come from? Like, how did you develop that? Like, where did that come from? When you decided you had to take on the responsibility of, tending to your
I
family in
think
that way?
when a person just born with an A type personality, I don't think you just are. And I grew up knowing that the world is not always the kindest place, and to work hard and watching my mom raise six kids all by herself amazingly, uh,
Okay.
and graciously and humbly, it really caused me to really have a real big respect for both women and single family homes and the honest, hardworking American like dream of just getting it done and making it work and just doing it.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm glad she did it well. So now let me go back a little bit because you mentioned about there was a time where it was two parents in the home, but then you
Yeah.
said there was some problems there. Can you give us your perspective, or what what were you told about the divide? What caused divide within the home?
Well, it was an abusive
Mm. Oh,
situation on my father's end,
okay.
and it was just one of those things that you you lived through. I feel like we survived, we thrived, and my mom was finally able to be the woman that she is today, and be her true, authentic self. She came out later on in life and is now with her partner, my stepmother, and they've been together for over 20 years. So,
Oh,
um,
okay.
yeah, I'm very, I got a lot of strong, empowering moments to always live your life the way that you want to because life will pass you by and seize your happiness while you have the opportunity to.
Absolutely. And I agree wholeheartedly, actually. And so let me ask you this also, as far as your father goes, has he ever been a presence in you and your siblings' lives at all? Or did he ever had the opportunity to be accountable for his actions and atone for that? I mean, did that ever happen at all?
It did not. He is no longer He's no
Mm,
longer
with us.
physically on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there was really no reconciliation or resolve.
Hmm.
I think I just did that internally for myself and for my own peace of mind.
How did you do that?
Um, just going by that thought process, like, the things that have happened were not in my control, but were not my fault. And to release anger, release hurt, release pain because it was not mine to hold on to. And
Mm,
to live my life as I see fit, and to live, let the past be the past, and forgive him for his transgressions because it's not pain that I wanted to hold on to.
oh, congratulations on that. It's
Thank
not,
you.
you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to hold on to that at all. But
No, and it's a very freeing and liberating
mhm.
moment when you're able to do that, and if you're able to do that.
Yeah, true. And you said that you have a father figure. Who was that? You said you had a male figure before. I think I heard you say that before.
Oh, no, no,
That you
no. The father figure was my biological father, but
I'm
he
sorry.
was
Okay.
never really, from the time I was probably about 5 or 7. He was really never around.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you meant like, like a step. But you said stepmother, but that
I
in
said
my mind
stepmother,
before,
yeah.
before you mentioned that, I thought you meant, you like stepfather, uncle when you said male figure at first. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah,
you're good. You're good.
yeah. But was there any male figure, positive male figure in your life growing up?
Not per se. With my parents, my stepmom and my biological mother, they gave me all the upbringing I felt like I needed. They taught me how to be a compassionate man and to work hard to treat others with respect. And I feel like the whole thought process of a man should is able to do that, or for another man, it's fine. It's fine and dandy. But I feel like if your parent teaches you to be a good person, it doesn't matter whether you have two females, one female, one male. You learn to be a good person, and I feel like being a man in this world is being accountable for your actions, doing good in your life, and doing good for others when you're able to, and just living respectably.
Okay. And I'm glad that you was able to, because I know, and we're gonna get into all of that, about a lot of the pushback when it comes to children being raised with gay parents. And and there's still some pushback. And even when, children are productive members of society, there's still, some pushback. So growing up and but before I get to that, because I'm trying to establish a timeline, I want to be
Right, right,
chronological
right.
about this. So when did your mom come out? How old were you when your mom came out?
I'm not sure because it's one of those things that my family were so tight knit and very close to each other that it almost just like it just kind of flowed. It was just one day. It was just the seven of
It
us,
just
and
happened.
then
Hmm.
and then my stepmom came into the picture, and it was just like a natural fit. Well,
Okay.
it was an adjustment period, but it was just a moment of like we didn't think nothing of it. It was just this is just who's in our life now, and she loves us. We love her, and that was all there was to it.
Okay. So, and you know what? I'm curious about that because sometimes before a person is bold enough to express who they are and who they choose to be, but they be like, oh, that's a friend, that's my roommate, that's your auntie or your uncle. So how was your stepmom introduced? Do-
That I do remember. It was kind of a funny story. I came home from school, and there was just this random lady in our house, and my mom's like, "Okay, so this is somebody who's very close to me. This is somebody I very much care about, and I want to introduce her to y'all. And if y'all are okay, she's going to be living with us." And we're all like, "Okay." And then through time, we kind of just naturally understood, oh, they're together, they're a partnership, like. But it was also that moment of like, oh my god, there's somebody else there. There's,
Mhm,
my mom was working two full-time jobs, so there was another
mhm.
parental figure there, somebody who could help, or understand, or like just it was just another person in the house, so we were all just like excited. And someone who was completely different from all of us. And the one thing I love about my stepmother is she took the time to learn all of us individually, love us all
Nice.
for our faults, our quirks, our everything, and just genuinely love us as any parent would.
I love that. I love that for y'all. And
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 that
and
was
so let
challenging
me
for six different
yeah.
individual kids. So
Yeah, that is challenging. That can be because I know it's individual personalities, individual needs, and so it was no pushback. Before we get to the pushback from the outside, it was no push. There was no pushback from any of your siblings at all. There was no, reprehension, no, at all.
I
Especially your
think
old,
it
old
was it
one.
was more like an adjustment period because we went from having just one parent to and not saying that we were self-governed, but my mom was working two full-time jobs, so we were a little bit more independent in a lot of respects, um, to having another parental figure. So that was an adjustment period, um, and I think with those times and having some of us hitting puberty, getting into those more rebellious years, it was an adjustment period for all of us.
Of
But
course.
strong families
Yeah, you make
bring
it work.
stronger bonds. So
Yeah, so I'm glad that you have that close knit family unit. So I
yeah.
want to, like I said, get more. So, did your mom and your stepmom receive pushback? What was that like? Did they? I know it had to have been some pushback, you know, growing up, from the community or from or maybe lack thereof, but from outside the home.
You know, honestly, I can't name a moment where I felt that.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and I feel very blessed to say that.
Good,
Um,
good. Because
it, it was
maybe you
just,
wasn't exposed to it.
yeah, I think since I feel like as children grow up and if they're exposed to a set of circumstances and that is a norm, you don't think much of it. And my mother
Mhm.
always preached to us that good people come in all shapes, all sizes, and all different ways of living. And as long as they're being good and respectable people and not harming anybody, however they live their life is how they live their life, and they should be respected as such. So we kind of all grew up with that mindset, like not hippies, but like just as long as you're living, if you're a good person and you're
Yeah,
good for
yeah.
others, what you do with your life and how you live
Your
it
business.
is your own. That's your own business, and we mind our own business.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how yeah, that's how I feel. I agree. I agree. But Victoria, realistically, it's not always like
Yes.
unfortunately, it's not always like that. It should be, but it's
Yeah.
not.
Oh,
Because
definitely.
judgment is gonna come. It's gonna come in many forms, but I'm so glad that y'all were able to maintain that united front to where it didn't affect you. So that's a good thing. That's
Yeah.
a blessing in itself.
Yeah, growing up, before my stepmom came along, we were still a tight knit family. It was kind of like even when me and my brothers or my sisters, we would fight with each other. It would be that moment of like we're fighting, we're not talking to each other, but the first person that goes to one of us and says something, we're like, no, and they're like, wait, weren't you just fighting? He's like, yeah, we can fight, but y'all can't touch us, y'all can't talk to us
Right,
that way, y'all
right.
can't do this or that. It was very much we always looked after each other.
Yes, absolutely. And so now, so you establish, the close-knit family unit. You have this bond, you're protective of one another. So what did you I want to know like more about what did you grow up within the household doing? Like what were your favorite TV shows? What were your influences? What inspired all this? What type of music did you grow up around? Like, what did you like? What are some of your memories? Like, did you have like, I'm thinking, like the rice and beans and or just the ices out in the street. Did y'all play double dutch outside? Like, I mean, give me
Oh, we
some of
were
the
we were
memories.
very we like I said, we were very in a low income family. We were very poor, so we were always outside. Like that's what I feel like kids today are missing, the outside. Y'all won't know the smell of outside until you're outside. When your parents go take a shower, you smell like outside. People
Yeah,
nowadays don't know what that means, what that experience is, and coming home when the
she likes on. She
the
likes.
street lights go, you know it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Got about 20, 30 minutes max. You better be home, drinking from water hoses, going to play out in the yards um,
Yes.
or the local basketball hoops or the Boys and
Yes.
Girls Club or the YMCA. So all these like assisted programs that we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of things like growing up. We would go to the park as a family, and or we would go to places that didn't cost a lot, and like the skating rink. Um, we always did things as a family growing up a lot of the time until I think we got older. Then the teenagers want to hang out with their friends, and then they're too cool to be around each other. But before all that, we were very close knit. We always did things together, and my mom always preached family first. As far as like TV shows and things like that, I always watched like
Mhm.
documentary series.
Oh,
And I read a lot because I
okay.
wasn't very expressive as a child. Growing up, my mom, she loved the English language. She still does.
Oh,
And
nice.
she wanted me to be able to vocalize my feelings and not just be fine, okay, good, or bad. She's like, there's so many words in the language, utilize them, like melancholy or exuberant. So it was just one of those things that like it made me feel very weird when I was in school because like as an 8 or 9 year old using these terms, and everyone's like, what are you
Like what?
doing?
Yeah.
but
Like what does that mean?
but
Yeah.
I really appreciated my mom for that now because
Yes.
I know how to express myself, and I was a very, very, very shy kid, almost robotic because I always wanted to be perfect in every single way. Um, and being one of 6 kids, it's hard to have your moment to like shine
Absolutely.
individually,
Mhm.
um, especially when everyone's doing their own thing. So I was the a student one, and I was always in a book. I was always studying. I was always trying to learn something new and why the world worked the way it did because it was just crazy.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, so I was the bookworm. Put it
Oh,
that way. I was the
nice.
bookworm of the family.
Okay, okay. And what type of music did you like? What type, what did you get in? What were you into? You was any music
I was
any type
born in the '80s, so
of oh
R&B.
yes. Love it. Love it. Yes.
So we on Sundays we cleaned the house. My mom had
Oh,
buckets ready with rags, and we cleaned baseboards. We washed the floors. We listened to my mom's disco, and like so, music was always in our lives. And I'm eclectic. I love different types from classic rock to opera, jazz. Like we listen to all of it. So I think
nice.
that's also helped shaped my drag
Yes.
aesthetic too.
Yes, I love it. I love it. That's why I wanted to get more into that, and I'm glad that you was able to share those type of memories and those type of experiences. So now given that segue, that's a perfect segue into get into the elementary and junior high school phase because a lot of us gloss over that. So I like to hear the stories about your experience during elementary and junior high school because that is such a moment of self-discovery that we don't think about as adults, but it is very important. It is very, very pivotal. So can you, give us more about your elementary and junior high school, like your academics, and did you look up to any teachers? Did you get into extracurricular activities? Like, can you give me any memories on that phase?
Yeah, elementary. Well, school was kind of weird up until high school, to be honest with you. Excuse me, because we traveled a lot, and
Really?
yeah, I would probably be in a school for only I'd say max a year to a year and a half, and then we would transfer because we would move to a different place. Um,
Why is that?
uh, we went where the low income housing was,
Oh, okay.
and like so Section 8 and things of that nature. So when that that lease would be up, we'd find the next place to go. And
Mm,
so and school districts always change where you're at. So we would probably from elementary school to high school, I went to 13 different schools. So
what?
Yeah, it was a lot, and you
Ooh,
always start off as like the for me, I was the weird smart kid. I didn't really talk that much to people. I always had the answers. I always was very studious because schoolwork was schoolwork no matter where you went. And that was the one thing that I could kind of gravitate and center myself with is just
yeah.
hunkering down, getting myself
Wow.
into a book versus
Yeah.
trying to make friends so that I knew that I wouldn't really talk to much later
Right,
on
right. Because you can't,
in
yeah,
life.
because you can't attach. Because I'm wondering, because you said censor, so I'm glad you said that because I'm wondering how did you censor going to so many different schools? Like, how do you adjust? Like, how's that even possible? 'Cause I know there's a lot of children, a lot of people that had that experience, but I always wonder, like, how you function like that? It's like
Yeah,
always,
you think that I was a military back because we moved
yeah.
around so much, but it's that moment of for me, since I always felt that I was an older soul in a very young kid's body. That was
Yes.
something that always irritated me growing up because I never quite understood my peers um, and immaturity. If
Yeah.
that makes any sense, I was just like, no, you got to work hard if you want to pay bills. If you need to get this, if you need to get this. I remember once I had a school field trip and I told my mom, and it was either my mom give me the money for the field trip or pay the light bill. And I was the one who goes, Mom, pay the light bill. I don't need to go. It's fine. And
Wow.
so that kind of dynamic, me and my mom, I felt like growing up, we had more of like a best friend than a mother and son type of relationship, which was it's good. Um, Now we have more of a mother son. There's more time, as time passes, we get older, we have more time to spend with each other. And as all the kids start dispersing now, like I get
Right,
to spend the
right.
time that I want. Or when I go
Like
to
you having
visit
more to
Florida.
yourself.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
go to visit Florida, it's like it's my time and y'all have your moment. I stay at my mom's house. I even go to work with her because she's a delivery driver or a courier driver. So
Okay,
So
okay.
I'll be in the back seat like, "Hey, mom, let's go." So
That's
just
cute.
yeah, because I love my mother, and she's an amazing woman, probably the
Aw,
strongest, most incredible woman or person on earth that I could ever think of, and
aw,
I owe her everything. So
aw. Yeah, I love that, and I wanna get, kinda dive into that real quickly, the relationship with your mom and how special it is, and that's a blessing in itself. So now with that being said, I know sometimes when you as children growing up, especially in a single parent household, some children, especially boys, tend to take on the responsibility of being like the man or woman of the house, and having to sacrifice, certain things, in order for bills to be paid or to look out for the siblings because you said you took on that responsibility, you
yeah,
took that on. So do you ever honestly feel like at times resentful at times, in those moments, that you had to give up certain things or you couldn't really enjoy certain things because um, you had to,
honestly, yes and no. I was more resentful of the fact that my brothers were able to, I feel like, live full childhoods with that sense of aloofness and wonder and like majestic
mhm,
amazingness that is being a child and not having worries or cares because I was so observant and so in tune and I always wanted to hang around with the adults and I felt like that was my world and that was where I belonged and then you're like your aunts and everyone are like, no, go to the kitty table. I was like, but that's not where the good conversations are. I don't care about SpongeBob or what's happening over here. I want to know what Auntie's doing over here and who she's
What's
talking
what
to this week. Yeah, I want to know the tea of everything. Um, and so with that, like as a teen, it started to affect me in a way that I'm like, I wanted my brothers to really I felt like
Okay.
at the time, like, give my mom more credit, give my mom more, like just, you know, put her on the pedestal that she deserves to be on. And
Mhm.
so that was about the only resentment. And I moved out early, like 2 weeks after I graduated. I was out. I was living on my own. I was
Mm.
By the time I was in high school, I was working almost full time at a grocery store, and helping pay the bills in the house because
Wow.
my stepmother gave me the good old, um, when you pay bills in the house, you have a say so, and you can say what you want. And that's a
Oh,
wrong thing to say to
that
a
was it.
very
Right,
independent
yes.
person.
'Cause you
I
say
got
so you
my
had a whole
booty
lot
a
to
job,
say.
and I said, okay, I'm paying bills. I get
You
to
got
say
some
so.
things to say. You got some say so. Well, we're gonna get more into that. So yeah, you just know how to time the segues and stuff. I like that. Yeah, so you know how to time it. So let me but okay, so high school, before we get to high school, can you tell me because you said you was raised in Miami. When did you move?
I moved actually around 5 or 6. It was right after I
Oh,
was in a really bad car accident. And after I healed and was discharged from the hospital, we moved from Miami to Tampa, Florida. And I
okay.
lived there up until I moved to Vegas.
Okay, up until okay. So Vegas was your last stop.
Yes.
Okay.
It's my
All
last and
right.
current stop so far.